Have you ever felt tired? Not because of what's happening around you, but because of what's happening inside your mind. Even when you're sitting still, your thoughts just won't stop talking. I'm not good enough. No one really needs me. I'm so tired of everything. Hi, I'm Wendy, and this is Heal and Grow Podcast, a space where we learn to live more peacefully, more gently, and more truthfully with ourselves. Today I want to share something small, but it might just change the way you see everything. Not every thought deserves your trust. Have you ever wondered why sometimes, even when nothing special is happening, your mind keeps repeating the same old thoughts, the familiar ones? I'm not good enough. I'll probably fail again. Things will never really get better. And strangely, they come back again and again, like a sad song that keeps playing in your head, even when you wish it would stop. What happens if we let those thoughts carry us away, over and over again? At first, they might seem harmless, just random little thoughts passing by, but slowly, they start shaping how we feel and how we see the world. One single thought can become the seed of fear. One fleeting emotion can turn into a fixed belief about who we are. And before we know it, we're living inside the loop of our own mind, thinking, feeling, and then thinking again because of what we just felt. From one tiny circle, it grows into a maze inside our mind, a maze we built ourselves, without even realizing it. The saddest part is, we think we're thinking, but most of the time, we're just replaying yesterday's story on repeat. And maybe now you start to wonder, why do we keep getting lost in the same thoughts, the same emotions, the same little stories that never seem to end? It's not just you. There's actually a reason for it. One that's both fascinating and a little bit humbling. Scientists say that on average, our minds create between 60,000 and 80,000 thoughts every single day. And here's the surprising part. About 80 to 90% of those thoughts are the exact same ones you had yesterday. According to the National Science Foundation, most of our daily thoughts are unconscious and repetitive, running automatically in the background, while only about 5 to 10% are truly new or creative. What does that mean? It means that our minds work like an old cassette tape, playing the same familiar tracks over and over again, the same beliefs, the same fears, the same stories we've told ourselves too many times to count. And here's the truth. One that's both scary and freeing at the same time. If you keep thinking the same thoughts every day, you keep feeling the same emotions, and you keep living the same experiences, we think we're having new thoughts. But in reality, most of them are just old reactions wearing new clothes. It's like changing your outfit, but underneath you're still carrying the same emotions, the same patterns, the same worn-out habits of thinking. But here's the good part. The moment you notice this, you've already taken back your power. Because once you see the pattern, you can choose to stop the tape. You can pause, take a deep breath, and gently say to yourself, no, I don't have to replay this story anymore. And that moment, that quiet, conscious moment, is when you finally step out of the old cassette in your mind and begin to write a new song for your life. You know, there's a tiny but powerful moment in all of us. That instant when we suddenly realize, oh, I'm getting carried away again. That moment, though small, is the very first step toward waking up from the thoughts that have been making us so tired inside. And when we begin to understand that our thoughts aren't always true, we also start to see something else. that the way we see the world is often colored by our own minds. I remember this so clearly. One day, I sent a message to a close friend, and after sending it, nothing. No reply. An hour passed, then 2. Then the whole evening went by. And of course, my mind started racing. Did I say something wrong? Maybe she's upset with me. What if I'm just bothering her? The more I thought about it, the heavier it felt. I kept repeating those worst-case scenarios until the next morning. When she finally replied, "Hey, sorry, I lost signal yesterday. Just saw your message now." That was it. Nothing dramatic. No one was upset. Everything was fine all along. In that moment, I realized something simple but so true. Things were never as bad as my mind made them out to be. It wasn't the world that was dark. It was just my thoughts dimming the light. It's like wearing a pair of dark-tinted glasses. Everything looks gloomy, even though the sun is still shining outside. So the next time everything feels heavy, pause for a moment and gently ask yourself, am I looking at the world through a dark lens right now? Because maybe all it takes is to take those glasses off and you'll see the sky has been bright all along. And maybe after hearing all this, you might be wondering, if my mind can twist reality so easily, how can I find peace in the middle of it all? That's when I discovered something truly beautiful, and I hope with all my heart that you'll feel it too. It's this: compassion. Gentle, honest compassion is the key that helps us move through our negative thoughts. It might sound strange, right? Because usually, when those heavy thoughts appear, our first instinct is to push them away, to fight them, or even to feel angry at ourselves for thinking that way. But you know what? In those exact moments, what we need most isn't judgment, it's kindness. Try loving your thoughts, even the messy, uncomfortable ones. When anger, fear, or sadness shows up, instead of chasing them away, try whispering softly to yourself, "Thank you. I see you. I know you're only trying to protect me." Just that. No resistance, no denial. Just a gentle awareness, a soft light of understanding. Because in truth, most of our negative thoughts come from a fear of being hurt. And the only thing that can truly soothe that fear is not logic, but compassion, the quiet kindness you offer yourself. So, whenever you notice yourself being pulled into those heavy thoughts again, pause for a moment and gently ask, do I have any real proof of this? If the answer is no, smile softly, because you've just realized it's only a thought passing through. Then take a deep breath in and let it go, like a soft breeze brushing through your hair. Light, gentle, leaving no trace behind. And when you do that, you'll begin to see peace isn't about having no negative thoughts at all. Peace is when you've learned to hold even your imperfect parts with tenderness. There's an image I really love, one that comes to mind whenever I think about the noisy thoughts inside our heads. It's the image of a snow globe. You know, when you pick it up and shake it, all the tiny flakes of snow start swirling wildly inside, covering everything, until you can't see what's really there anymore. Just a blur of white and chaos. Our minds work exactly the same way. Every time we worry, overthink, or replay old memories, we're shaking our own snow globe. Thoughts, emotions, and memories begin to spin, and they blur the calm, clear space that was already there within us. But here's the beautiful part. You don't have to do anything extraordinary to find peace. You just have to stop shaking, take a pause, put the snow globe down, and let it be. Within just a few moments, the snow begins to settle, and suddenly, everything inside becomes clear again. Nothing has really changed. It was always there. You just couldn't see it because your mind was moving too fast. Scientists have also talked about this. When we're stressed or lost in thought, the part of the brain that controls our inner self-talk goes into overdrive. That's why we feel exhausted, distracted, and unable to stay in the present. But the amazing thing is, the moment you slow down, take a deep breath, and let your mind rest, your brain actually begins to calm itself. Your heart rate steadies, your breathing deepens, and your body naturally starts to heal. So peace. True peace isn't about having no thoughts at all. It's about learning to see those thoughts as a gentle observer, without reacting, without clinging, without judgment. Let the snow fall. Let it settle. Let your mind stop stirring for a while, so that clarity, which was always yours, can return on its own. And if today you feel tired, or your mind feels loud and tangled, pause for a moment. Take one deep, quiet breath, and imagine yourself placing that little snow globe gently on the table. No need to push your thoughts away. No need to force yourself to be happy. Just let it be still. You'll notice, the less you try to control, the softer everything becomes. The thoughts will settle, the heaviness will fade, and the peace that has always lived inside you, will find its way back home. Thank you for spending this moment with me today. If this episode made your heart feel a little lighter, share it with someone who might need a moment of stillness too. And don't forget to follow Heal and Grow podcast, so that whenever life feels too loud, you'll always have a small space to return to breathe, to pause, and to let the snow in your mind settle down just a little.